This is CTV News with Nafisa Karim.
We can also allow the vessel to operate autonomously, and we will have a rigorous plan with Transport Canada to go through a series of trials.
The future is here. A Victoria company is hoping captainless boats will soon be an option for travel in the inner harbour.
They need more, and this is directly going to help them get more.
A new grocery benefit could soon be hitting the bank account of millions of Canadians. Just how much you could be eligible for. Plus, Adam finds out why a young man with a remarkable exercise routine was inspired to make a speech about his meaningful shoes. Later on the Sawatsky Sign-Off. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. A Victoria company has grand plans to start testing autonomous electric water taxi service in the capital region this year. Future Marine says it will begin testing a vessel in hopes of getting approval from Transport Canada to run the uncrewed service within the next 18 months. CTV's Brendan Strain is diving into the idea of what could be the future of water travel on the West Coast.
Victoria's inner harbor is busy, and by the end of this year, it's going to get a little more crowded.
We're hoping to bring a great public transit system that utilizes our waterways efficiently.
Future Marine Inc., an island-based company, says it will bring a new electric, accessible passenger ferry service to the inner harbor, which will be autonomous.
It has these sensors, eyes, which are cameras. It has other LiDAR and other sensing devices on board to feed into the autonomous navigation system.
The service is being modeled off a similar autonomous system already running in Stockholm. The first vessel is already in production on Vancouver Island, and once completed, it will begin running a crewed 500-meter trial route between Dockside Green and Village Marina.
So while the captain is on board, we can also allow the vessel to operate autonomously, and we will have a rigorous plan with Transport Canada to go through a series of trials over a 18-month period. I think it would be a reasonable length of time.
The harbour has many partners and stakeholders that have a role within it.
The middle of the harbour is governed by Transport Canada, which defines its traffic scheme, which includes a water airport. The Greater Victoria Harbour Authority owns 11 properties around the harbour, including Ship Point, the Lower Causeway, and Fisherman's Wharf.
When a piece of new technology is introduced to the harbour, it has to prove that it's safe, and that means it has to go through a rigorous testing period.
Future Marine says those rigorous tests will be completed and will need approval from Transport Canada before it can begin to operate autonomously. The Greater Victoria Harbour Authority says another water taxi service would be a welcomed addition.
More the merrier, makes for a vibrant harbour.
The company says the new ferry system will be affordable, convenient, and work hand in hand with all the stakeholders that make up Victoria's inner harbour.
That's what we want to be part of, is an integrated transportation system, so you can move right across a urban landscape without the need of your car.
Brendan Strain, CTV News, Victoria.
A team of high school students has secured a spot at the World Robotics Championship, but they need a little help from the community to get there. Esquimalt High School's Atom Smashers need to raise $70,000 to get the team of 19 students and their robot to Houston, Texas. So far, they've raised $45,000, which will ensure every team member can go regardless of their financial situation. The World Championships run from April 29th to May 2nd. This is the Atom Smashers' second time at the competition. The first was in 2018.
Coming from the smaller place, which is Esquimalt, we don't really get a lot of recognition on the global stage, and we don't get a lot of robotics education. So being able to go to the World Championships gives us that opportunity to learn from other teams and to represent Esquimalt and our community on a global stage.
People can donate on the Esquimalt Atom Smashers website. They secured their spot in a recent regional competition. At that competition, they won an award that recognized them for making robotics more accessible to kids in their community by starting a league at a local elementary school and by creating another high school team that's open to students across Greater Victoria. People came out in droves at last night's public hearing in Nanaimo to provide their 2 cents on a proposed industrial expansion plan near a popular hiking trail. It was a full house inside Nanaimo Council chambers, with several more watching the proceedings outside in the lobby. The public hearing was held to hear both sides of a rezoning amendment for 74 hectares of land to an industrial park. The area sits along the western edge of the Cable Bay Trail in the city's south end. If passed, the industrial site would have a 100-meter buffer between it and the trail. There has been strong opposition to the proposal, so much so that the hearing ended up running out of time and is slated to reconvene next week. The city tells CTV News it will not be speaking about this matter until the public hearing is complete. The tax deadline is less than 2 weeks away, and if you still haven't done yours, here is an incentive. Eligible Canadians will receive a one-time grocery benefit payment in June, and you have to file your taxes to get it. The payment offers financial support ahead of the federal government's transition to a new groceries and essentials benefit, which is replacing the GST credit come July. At that time, eligible folks will start receiving quarterly payments for 5 years, which are 25% higher than the old GST credit. Through the one-time payment in June, a single person with no kids could receive $267. A family with 4 kids could receive $717. The feds say the benefit will help more than 12 million low and modest income Canadians offset the cost of food.
They're not going to have to make the decision between buying their kids a new pair of runners when there's holes in them and putting food on the table, that they'll be able to continue to make ends meet.
The benefit will be indexed to inflation, meaning the payments will increase as the price of groceries does. The Rainbow Kitchen in Esquimalt says this will be hugely helpful for the people it gives meals to.
The people who are coming to access us are relying on us for, food and coffee and all these little things, but they need more. And this is directly going to help them get more, so that our hands are tied with breakfast and lunch in person, but they're going to be able to go to the grocery store and buy more food.
The tax deadline is April 30th. The Canada Revenue Agency will determine your eligibility automatically when you file your return. This weekend, the city of Nanaimo, along with the Island Corridor Foundation and Southern Rail, are opening a new section of E&N Trail. An official ribbon cutting will take place tomorrow to open a new 1.2-kilometer section of the popular recreational trail. The new section will connect Hecate Street and 7th Street in the city's south end. The city says the soft surface trail is ideal for walkers, cyclists, and other means of active transportation. The added bonus, it's going to be a safer means of travel for students getting to and from school.
What we were finding in that neighborhood was children were using the railway to get to school. And so the track, being as though it's an active track, it's a spine, like I said, people want to get from A to B, but we want them to do it safely.
The ribbon cutting will take place at the Binkie Food Forest at 12:30. All are welcome. A major environmental remediation is underway in the Clayoquot Sound region of Vancouver Island following years of landslides dating back to the late 1990s. The slide is so big, it's been dubbed Big Bertha and can be seen on satellite images. The slide is one of many in the area where work is being done to restore vegetation and reduce the amount of sediment going into salmon-bearing streams. The work is a partnership between the Redfish Restoration Society and Hesquiat First Nation. The society says the remote site and difficult terrain make working in the area challenging.
Every spring we're going back there and we're doing these bioengineering techniques where we utilize willow stakes and kind of a 1x6 board, and you build terraces into the slope to help catch material as it's kind of moving downslope, with the end goal of providing vegetation and kind of benches for this trees to start growing and getting some grass growing, and then try and slow the hydrology of the water just racing off the slope and into the river valley.
The team has been working in the area since 2012, but this phase is focusing on the largest area of the logging-related landslide that first collapsed in 1999. With spring in full swing, bear activity is on the rise, prompting a reminder to secure your home from wildlife attractants. Sooke Bylaw says it has received 13 complaints so far this year related to animal attractants. 3 warning tickets or letters have been handed out, and there are 2 ongoing investigations that could result in fines. Both the Bylaw Service and WildWise, a not-for-profit education society, say residents need to take responsibility for their property and not leave out bear attractants.
Problems that we're encountering, though, is that, you know, a lot of the residents aren't actually reporting. There's a lot of conversation on social media about, you know, how bylaw should be doing this and that bylaw needs to be issuing these tickets and that people need to be hitting their pocketbooks to create kind of this culture shift of understanding. But unfortunately, that's not going to be a possibility if residents are reluctant to report.
Both organizations say complaining on social media doesn't create the action needed to keep bears out of communities. Rather, they are encouraging people to report unsecured attractants to Bylaw or the RAP line.
Fairly pleasant day in Victoria today. 12 degrees right now. 12 degrees is the daytime high. Should be even warmer as we make our way through the weekend. Rain for other parts of the island, though. We'll talk about all that right after the break.
Well, we are on the doorstep of the long weekend, and Josh, it sounds like you're serving up a little bit of a weekend warm-up for us.
Yeah, temperatures today were right around average. I think as we head towards the back half of the weekend, especially, we're really going to start to see things warm up. And the rain looks like it's going to avoid Victoria and Nanaimo areas. We will see some rain, though, especially late in the day tomorrow for West Coast and northern parts of the island. 12 degrees right now in Victoria. As we mentioned before the break, that's our daytime high. It's 12 as well in Comox and Port Alberni. Light wind across most of the island. We have some showers early this evening along the West Coast. And then tomorrow morning, looks like just cloudy for most areas around the island, but from Tofino north, as the day wears on, we'll start to see some rain move in. This could be some heavier, steadier pockets of rain, especially further to the north here. I think if you're south of Tofino, it really doesn't look like you're going to get a whole bunch in the way of rainfall. And even Comox just sort of gets grazed late Saturday night. Early Sunday morning, still some showers hanging on in a few areas. But it looks like by the time we get through to sort of mid-morning, late morning, everybody dries out. And by tomorrow afternoon, or Sunday afternoon rather, we get some sunshine breaking through the clouds across the southern half of the island. So here's what your forecast looks like in detail. Some late day rain tomorrow, a little breezy on Sunday, and highs in the mid-teens in the north. That chance of showers early Sunday morning should be out of the area by, as we showed you, about 8 a.m. 14 and 11 for daytime highs Monday, Tuesday of next week, as there's a little bit of a cool down on the way for Tuesday. 15 for inland areas tomorrow, increasing cloud, chance of some showers late afternoon and into the evening, and then a mix of sun and cloud to mostly cloudy skies. 21 on Sunday and 23 Monday. 14 is the average daytime high, so average tomorrow and then way above average for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Out on the West Coast, chance of showers tomorrow and 13 degrees. We pointed out from Tofino north would be the best chance of rain. That'll stick around, especially for areas further north into early Sunday morning. Then mostly cloudy and 19 in the afternoon on Sunday. In through the Comox area, chance of evening showers tomorrow, but dry for most of the weekend. 14 tomorrow, 18 on Sunday, and near 20 for daytime highs Monday, Tuesday. Nanaimo, 16, partly cloudy tomorrow, mixed sun and cloud, 18 on Sunday. And again, highs right around 20 into Monday, Tuesday of next week. In Victoria, 5 degrees tomorrow morning, about 15, maybe 16 degrees, some sunshine in the morning, partly cloudy through the afternoon, mixed sun and cloud, 19 on Sunday, and still in the mid to high teens for daytime highs Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. Average daytime highs 13. So a little bit above average tomorrow, well above average to close the weekend and head through the first half of next week, Nafisa. And really not much in the way of rainfall in the forecast over the next 4 or 5 days in Victoria as well.
Splendid. Thank you, Josh. Well, the province is launching a new pilot project aimed at helping police understand toxic drug supply patterns. The program is the first of its kind in Canada and gives police and scientists the ability to analyze and track the flow of toxic drugs. The data will be uploaded to a database where AI is used to map and track distribution patterns. Police will be able to link and compare seized substances across communities and time periods. The information will also be used for earlier warnings to the public. Ontario's New Democrats are once again pushing for a ban on so-called surveillance pricing, which can result in a consumer paying more than their neighbor for the exact same item. It involves personal data being collected online and analyzed by algorithms to figure out how much you'd be willing to pay. With more, here's CTV's John Venevali-Rao.
An algorithm decided who pays more.
In a video posted by Ontario New Democrats, the party's leader lays out why consumers should be worried about the potential for retailers to use personal data to set the price each shopper sees for a product. Today, again calling for the practice to be banned before it becomes a problem.
Why should a secret algorithm decide how much you pay for eggs?
It's called surveillance pricing, though another term you'll see is algorithmic personalized pricing, and many consumers are leery of it.
It seems very unfair.
Definitely shocking, but not surprising, I would say.
I understand, like from a business standpoint, like why they would want to do something like that.
What happens is companies use data gathered from your digital footprint, such as where you live, browsing history, the type of device you're on, and your typical spending habits. And then an algorithm figures out the maximum price you'd likely pay. What it means is that two people on the same site at the same time can see different prices for the same item.
And they're doing this to try and extract the most possible value they can from each consumer.
And some think eventually the data could include when you get paid.
Firms might eventually be able to raise prices when they know that it's payday to get you to pay a higher price.
Already the cost of things like ride shares, airline tickets, and hotels can change based on timing and location, what's called dynamic pricing. Surveillance pricing is more personalized. How prevalent it is in Canada is unclear. But in December, Consumer Reports found in the U.S., Instacart was involved in AI-driven pricing experiments where shoppers did see different prices for the same grocery items at the same time.
The government should ban surveillance pricing.
The federal NDP this week introduced a motion to ban the practice, though MPs voted it down. And it follows a push by Manitoba's NDP government to make such pricing illegal. Several U.S. states are also looking to impose bans, including Maryland. The Competition Bureau has looked at the issue and says consumers have expressed concerns about a lack of transparency.
From a consumer perspective, a lot of discomfort about not knowing how that price was arrived at, what kind of personal data the company was using.
As for Ontario's premier, he says the province will not be implementing a ban, while New Democrats here plan to bring it to a vote on Monday. John Venevali-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
Coming up, inspiring exercise. Adam finds out why a man's intense workout routine led to a meaningful speech about shoes. Next on the Sawatsky Sign-Off.
A trusted voice focused on Vancouver Island first, sharing stories.
We're here in Esquimalt Lagoon
that hit closest to home.
Housing is a problem. What's your plan?
Watch weekdays at 4:30 and at ctvnewsvancouverisland.ca.
Virgin Radio is Victoria's #1 hit music station. Home of Bailey and Johnny in the morning. Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to 107.3 Virgin Radio everywhere.
Finally, Adam finds out the story behind a young man in the midst of an intense workout routine on the Sawatsky Sign-Off.
Before he grew up to speak publicly about his athletic shoes,
and they played a pivotal role in my life. They're very important to me.
Siobhan Meny says he was a boy suffering from a painful condition that left him confined to his bed for almost a year.
After that, everything went downhill for me.
When he returned to school, his grades descended, his weight increased, and the then 14-year-old began being bullied.
Every day was darkness. Every day was sadness.
Until one day, when he was 16, Siobhan says he hit rock bottom.
I was like, this is not where I want to be life. This is not where my story ends.
That's when Siobhan fell to his knees and felt compelled to do push-ups.
It went horrible. I wasn't able to do even more than two to three push-ups.
But instead of being deterred, Siobhan set the unlikely goal of running a 50-kilometer ultramarathon.
I made the vow to myself that day. No matter how hard an obstacle will be, I will keep pushing forward.
After months of training up to 5 hours a day, Siobhan finished a series of shorter races before eventually completing not one, but 2 ultramarathons.
I felt very happy. Of course, it was joy, but that doesn't end right there.
Siobhan was inspired to accomplish even more goals, including holding a plank for 1 minute while balancing 76 kilograms, more than 167 pounds, on his back.
Every record that I broke was wearing these shoes right here.
And everything that happened before he began wearing them, Siobhan says, he's actually grateful for.
All the negative things, because that transformed me into becoming a positive person.
And while this speech recently won him first place in a local Toastmasters competition, the 21-year-old says he's ultimately honing his communication skills in the hopes of inspiring others to overcome their adversity.
And once you take those first steps, it's going to be a whole roller coaster of your journey, and you're going to not even believe all the things that you accomplished.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, North Vancouver.
The Sawatsky Sign-Off, brought to you by Coastal Community Credit Union. Bank happy at Coastal Community Credit Union.
I'm exhausted just watching that. Good thing it's Friday. That is all for us at CTV News Vancouver Island. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a fabulous weekend.